Alright, welcome back. We seem to be... I'm not repeating it. I don't know what happened. I'm in desperate need of some updates. But the funds aren't quite there right now. But I need to clear out some of my previous shit. My god. Alright.
The views shut.
History.
Prince Charming is the perfect representative of the average white.
Effective way for social change is humiliate your enemy and make them poorer.
At the beginning of the movie, King Harold is dying, and Fiona and Shrek fill in for him to rule temporarily. And consider, Fiona made a conscious decision to become an ogre. So it's ludicrous that the people are even okay with her ruling in the first place.
Yeah.
It's even worse when you consider that despite King Harold getting on board with Shrek and Fiona's marriage...
That's because it sucks. It is the worst of the three. I think this was like Justin Timberlake's first movie to act in, which is bad enough by itself. But then also it's got this shit this early. Like when was this released? When was Shrek 3 released?
Shrek the Third was released in
2007. So, yeah, just that by itself, it's really early. That's before they just started being, in your face with a lot of this stuff. But
his death is still played as a joke.
He croaked.
On his deathbed, he tells Shrek and Fiona,
"But your love for Shrek taught me so much."
This scene shows us that Fiona's love for Shrek taught Harold that it's okay for your daughter to embrace her curse, have her values undermined, live in a rotting swamp, and produce little ogre babies that don't resemble him at all. They're even so on the nose with how little they respect Harold that in a later scene, Fiona uses a secret passageway that depicts Harold kissing a horse's butt. There is no amount of submission that will ever
I didn't notice
make
that
you a
the first
member
time
of
through.
Club. This is the future that the goblins that run Hollywood want for you. Your final comfort before you die is knowing that your daughter is now a swamp shark. You'll have little green freak babies as your grandkids. And let's not forget, Shrek doesn't want to rule, but instead of stepping aside and letting Prince Charming, who has a rightful claim to the throne,
he doesn't.
The promise of King Harold, he embarks on an adventure to find a distant heir to Harold to take on the responsibility of ruling so that he doesn't have to.
Now, this relative turns out to be Arthur Pendragon, and our introduction to him is an immediate subversion of expectations by making us think he's a tall, handsome Giga Chad, but we immediately discovered that this kid's actually an outcast.
Stop squirming, Arthur.
I'm not Arthur.
That dork over there is Arthur.
Now, through manipulation and deceit, Shrek absolutely gaslights Artie into coming with him to Far, Far Away to become the new king. And multiple times, Shrek outright lies to Artie about the king handpicking him to be heir.
Oh no, in fact, the king asked for you personally.
And his motivation for this is nothing more than shirking responsibility of being king so that he can go fart around in his swamp. But the problem is, he's willing to manipulate a young, impressionable kid into ruling when the throne has already been promised to Prince Charming.
To that point, on the ship ride back to Far, Far Away, Shrek is constantly gaslighting Artie into thinking that being king is going to be all fun and games.
Look, I know it's not all going to be fun and games.
It really is all fun and games, actually.
But Donk and Pussy...
I mean, it is for bad people. Hey, welcome back, Shapeshifter.
But Donkey and Puss inadvertently warn him of the danger and responsibility of being king.
The whole kingdom will look to you for wisdom and guidance. Just make sure they don't die of famine or plague.
Now, once Artie fully realizes the responsibility...
And I will say, Donkey and Puss represent all of us.
...that's going to come with this, he tries to turn the ship around, and Shrek fights him for control of the ship, and they end up crashing it and capsizing the ship. Now, eventually, Shrek is able to convince Artie to take on the responsibility that he clearly doesn't want. And the way he does this is by telling Artie,
People used to think I was a monster, but
They
after
still
a
do.
while, you learn to ignore the names that people call you, and you just trust who you are.
the problem with this line is that Shrek is actually a giant green monster. We saw in the first film, and it's all throughout the book that this series is based on, he did in fact enjoy scaring humans. This isn't some unfair label. It is an accurate description of who Shrek is. He also preys on Artie's lack of a father figure, because he tells him that although Artie's father wasn't present, at least he didn't try to eat him like Shrek's did.
13%.
My father was an ogre. He tried to eat me.
Either this is true and all ogres are vile creatures that should be despised, or Shrek is lying and this is yet another attempt to gaslight Artie even further.
Let's remember back to the most famous line in this
Could go either way.
franchise. Ogres have layers. I'm convinced that Shrek would tell Artie his dad was turned into a bar of soap if he thought it would convince him to become king.
I mean, that'd be some pretty awful soap.
Why didn't Prince Charming, who also grew up without a father, get this same sympathy from the writers? But that aside, Shrek would rather put an innocent kid's life in danger than let
Because to them, growing up without a father is just how people grow up these days.
Prince Charming rule far, far away. Keep in mind, during their struggle on the boat, Shrek slipped up and admitted to Artie that he thinks Artie is a loser.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm going back.
Back to what? Being a loser?
He clearly doesn't think this kid has what it takes to rule, but is still fine screwing him and Far, Far Away over if it means he gets to go back home to the swamp.
Despite Shrek's manipulation and deceit, he'll be
Yeah, so proving that Shrek hasn't learned anything in
portrayed
2
as
movies.
the hero of the movie by the end. So with that in mind, let's look at what Prince Charming was doing while Shrek was away. There's an early scene where Prince Charming is actually able to galvanize a bunch of the fairy tale creatures at the Poison Apple to help him overthrow Far, Far Away. Now remember that a lot of these creatures hate him because of his mother's actions in Shrek 2. But Prince Charming appeals to them by saying,
I'm not gonna lie, at first I read that like, I kind of look like Artie. I was like, what?
Once upon a time, someone decided that we were the losers. There are 2 sides to every story, and our side has not been told. Who wants their happily ever after?
It's also funny that after
Nick
his
Fuentes.
rousing speech, these fairy tale creatures immediately start
It's the
beating the
guy,
crap out of each other.
Slow-Mo
I'm
Fuentes.
telling you, man, Farquaad's stance on fairy tale creatures becomes more and more justified with each passing movie.
Farquaad was right, and we all know it.
I have been
After he
hearing this a lot
convinces them
lately.
to join forces, Charming uses the fairy tale creatures to siege the city and take control of Far, Far Away. Now, I won't try to defend this on moral grounds, but you have to remember that he had everything taken away from him just because of the actions of his mother.
FYI, not my fault.
And this is a trend that we've seen in Hollywood for a long time. They paint everything white people do as evil, all while overlooking the same actions when they're taken by other races. Remind me, where are all the Oscar-winning films about black slave owners or
They turned it into the Woman King.
one group of people we don't talk about?
People don't realize who brought the slaves to America. They were Jewish ships.
That's not true.
Prince Charming rightly resents the unwashed masses because they would rather be governed by an ogre than one of their own countrymen.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
And honestly,
I
can
mean,
we blame Prince
base
Charming
take.
for not accepting his destiny being stolen from him?
Don't
to
like
live
where
in
it came from,
poverty,
but base
having to
take.
play himself in a crappy play that forces him to relive the worst moments of his life while a crowd mocks him and laughs at him the whole time? Charming wants to put on a play and have Shrek be the star of it to humiliate him the same way that he's been humiliated since the end of Shrek 2 and eventually kill him. He captures Shrek and Artie, but ends up letting Artie go after Shrek admits that he lied to Artie just to get him to come to Far, Far Away.
You weren't really next in line for the throne. Look, I said whatever I had to say, all right? I wasn't right for the job. I just needed some fool to replace me. And you fit the bill.
Even whenever Shrek tells the truth, he does so with the intent to manipulate. Now, what's funny is the movie plays this scene as Shrek pretending to lie so that Artie can escape because he cares so deeply about him. But he absolutely doesn't. Now, keep in mind, Prince Charming would have won had he not spared Artie. This whole film relies upon Prince Charming's kindness and mercy.
The same thing is true with
I
Farquaad.
didn't think of it that way. I just realized, why does Fiona's mom look like Prince Charming? Because she's a whore.
Busting through the church to steal his princess and eventually destroying his kingdom.
Now, I think this demonstrates a very valuable message to all of us.
What do you think she, like,
which is that half measures and
says to the
mercy
fairy godmother?
will only end up hurting you when you're dealing with your enemies, because they will absolutely weaponize your morality and compassion against you.
And to be fair, mercy and compassion, these are virtuous things, but when your enemy hates you and wants you erased, those are out the window. And it is true that Prince Charming wanting to force Shrek into this play instead of just killing him is obviously pretty petty, but I do have a hard time arguing that any reasonable person in Charming's circumstances wouldn't want revenge, given that Shrek stole everything from him and left his life in complete shambles. After losing everything, in his desperation, he turned to violence in order to restore order to his...
I don't agree with that part. He was doing violence in the last one, wasn't he? I mean, all the deception and such that was going on. Sure, the king made a promise, but it wasn't a straight-up promise. Again, I don't think the events of Shrek 2 hold up to what they're trying to push through here. The fairy godmother represented more of a like the Shogun from the Wano arc of One Piece. Just happen to be watching that currently, but it was someone who felt they should be king becoming king. But again, that doesn't take away from what they're saying here, but just saying for context.
Now fallen kingdom.
And he even says as much in the movie, because he says,
I am the rightful king of far, far away. And I promise you this, Mother, I will restore dignity to my throne.
Prince Charming is the rightful king of Far, Far Away by agreement with the previous king.
You see, we made a deal, Harold. And I assume you don't want me to go back on my part.
Indeed not.
So Fiona and Charming will be together.
Yes.
And Shrek has absolutely made a mockery of Far, Far Away's traditions and customs, as seen in the beginning of the movie.
That part is true.
Prince Charming is having none of it. And for that, he's the bad guy. He's the villain because he refuses to be replaced.
And keep in mind, Prince Charming isn't motivated solely by vengeance or malice. His primary motivation is fulfilling what he believes to be his destiny and honoring the wishes of his deceased mother. Everything in his life was going according to plan until an outsider intervened.
But now it's time for the big finale. Even when Prince Charming has the upper hand and has Shrek right where he wants him, they have to continue to emasculate him.
You've got to love it when the writers are unintentionally based. They clearly wrote Prince Charming as this effeminate metrosexual to make a mockery of white Europeans, yet somehow with no capital or resources, he single-handedly raised an army and conquered Far, Far Away, and the only reason he lost in the end was the townspeople being mindless drones that would rather be ruled over by an ogre. Not very progressive of the writers to suggest that the only thing that can stop white people is themselves.
And again, just like with Farquaad, Shrek doesn't want to be judged, but man, he sure loves judging other people. I mean, even Rapunzel has her wig pulled off, revealing that she's bald, since even European women must be humiliated if they side with their own race instead of with the invading ogres.
You know,
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think it's just, again, if that was written today and if it was written about black people, I've seen people with super long, ridiculous wigs, and you don't know what they're hanging on by. But going with what they're trying to put here, let's see. We'll let them cook.
I can't help but think if Rapunzel had just run over a guard in her wagon to protect the other ogres from Far, Far Away's version of ice, the citizens of Far, Far Away would have gladly accepted her as the queen. But if that emasculation wasn't enough, they even have a scene where all the women break out of the prison to foil Prince Charming's plan. And it's done in the most retarded way possible, where Lillian headbutts through...
I mean, they already did that in the last movie, where they had all the princesses. I mean, they didn't save the day, but, you know, there was that whole thing where Snow White comes out and she's dancing, and then they switch over to that, that old rock song, the but, and then this right here, this is just a play on Fiona being, like, having, like, her little retard burst of strength.
Brick walls. And after she does it, she remarks to Fiona,
Well, you didn't actually think you got your fighting skills from your father, did you?
The degree to which they did.
Look, and I understand on its face that sounds emasculating, but you have to remember, her dad's a frog. Her dad's a frog that used the fairy godmother's true love wish or whatever on Shrek's mom, or on Fiona's mom.
Disrespect King Harold in this movie is insane, even after his death.
And remember, at the beginning of Shrek 2, he wanted no part of Shrek being his son-in-law, which is totally reasonable. But by the end, he completely cucked and gave in, and they still hate him. But even more disgusting in this scene is the fact that Doris, the ugly stepsister, who we talked about in our Shrek 2 video, is canonically a troon. He's treated like he's one of the princesses, and gets his redemption arc from being a joke in Shrek 2 to being a hero in this movie. And need I remind you, he forced himself onto Prince Charming at the end of Shrek 2, and it was played as a joke. And the degeneracy continues here with lines like this.
I know he's a jerk and everything, but I gotta admit, that Charming makes me hotter than July.
And Prince Charming, when he has Shrek chained up on stage, says this to him.
No.
I will say it does seem like they're making fun of the trans wicked stepsister in both movies. I will give them that. Just remind me of something I saw a long time ago when I found out his girlfriend was bald. She looked like Ninja Turtle. I remember that video. Fighting skills are not genetic. No, it's true, but like, I mean, technically a lot of things aren't. But if you're around your parents doing certain things, they're always just like, "Oh, you do that just like your mama or just like your father."
You'll finally know what it's like to have everything you worked for. Everything that's precious to you taken away. Now, you'll know how I felt.
Up until the very end, Prince Charming is the only one with a sensible perspective, and he's treated like he's crazy. He is easily the most sympathetic character in this entire movie, but his very reasonable perspective must be strawmanned into oblivion, because the disgruntled Aryan couldn't possibly have a point.
Just as Prince Charming orders his forces to kill Shrek, Artie comes in and gives a rousing speech to the fairy tale creatures. And it's here that he speaks not only to the fairy tale creatures, but also to us, the audience, to deliver one of the movie's core messages.
A good friend of mine once told me that just because people treat you like a villain, or an ogre, or just some loser, it doesn't mean you are one. The thing that matters most is what you think of yourself. If there's something you really want, or someone you really want to be, then the only person standing in your way is you.
He's telling us that our story isn't scripted or pre-written. It's entirely up to us to write our own story. That sounds great in theory, but the actual message the writers are trying to get across here is that we have no obligation to or from our society, and we should instead just do what makes us happy.
Now, this mindset also denies reality, because if you're an ogre,
and it is a lofty idea, and for a lot of people can do these things. You can do your dream job. Some people can. The rest of us have to keep society functioning. No matter if you work at a manufacturing warehouse or an assembly line, or that's manufacturing. Jesus. Working in a parts warehouse, working in customer service, working in a grocery store, working in pretty much anything. We have to have people in all these positions to keep society functioning. But some people do get to work and strive and achieve their dreams. A lot of people dream, they have lofty dreams. They want to be famous. They want to be a millionaire so fucking bad. To where they listen to that song and they look out a window and they just sigh all day while not really doing anything to make it so. And then they get mad that people are rich and they're not. Does that sound familiar? Anyway.
No change in behavior will make you not an ogre. And this is more of the don't judge a book by its cover messaging that we see throughout the films aimed at younger audiences. It's a half-truth, because there are some things that are deeper than just someone's outward appearance, but it's being used maliciously here to try and convince us to ignore reality.
But luckily for Artie, the fairy tale creatures and citizens of Far, Far Away are more than happy to have this random kid be their new king and create the perfect utopia where humans,
But he said a nice
ogres,
thing.
and giant tree monsters can live together in harmony. After Artie's amazing speech, the Headless Horseman admits,
I've always wanted to play the flute.
Isn't it kind of ironic that Artie's message is you can be whatever you
can
want
use
to
your
be,
butt
and the guy
cheeks.
without a head says, hey, I want to play the flute? The thing for which you need a head?
You just use your butt cheeks. Just you're gonna have to get really good at it.
But don't mind the burning buildings or the people breaking into your house. Just embrace the peaceful new regime as you slowly get replaced in your own country.
Which again, isn't this funny? Back when they were mad at the right people. This is Minneapolis, by the way. Somewhere that recently has been known for other things. Notice how they've turned it around since then. They've spent the last 6 years becoming the good guys in these crazy people's eyes.
Which is the real message of the Shrek series.
It's also incredibly ironic that Artie, the character who preaches this message, is tricked and gaslit into doing the bidding of an outsider who cares nothing about him. Do not fall for this movie's disingenuous framing. Shrek cares nothing about Artie. He only wants to push his responsibility off on him so that he can go back to his swamp.
His swamp, which Fiona identifies earlier in the movie as being neglected.
Couple more days, and we'll be back home in our vermin-filled shack.
The fire, the fire alarm. You could play.
Strewn with fungus, filled with the rotting stench of mud and neglect.
And again, it's ironic because Shrek letting Prince Charming become king would have freed him from the responsibility that he so desperately wanted to avoid. And you can't use the argument that, well, Charming would be a bad ruler, because he's willing to make Artie, who he knows nothing about, the king, and he's already demonstrated he doesn't think Artie will be a good ruler. And Prince Charming has already shown some chops for ruling by being able to galvanize all the fairy tale creatures to his cause.
Now, just before Prince Charming is killed by Shrek, Prince Charming says,
This was supposed to be my happily ever after.
To which Shrek responds,
Well, I guess you need to keep looking, because I'm not giving up mine.
And this brings us to the core issue with the Shrek series. Shrek's happily ever after always comes at the cost of someone else's. Happily ever after is a zero-sum game between Shrek and literally everyone else.
Yeah.
Shrek across 3 movies has repeatedly laid claim to things that are not his, and yet he's always portrayed as the hero for it.
Yeah, it would sound like a
while
fart.
Everyone else is a villain if they resist him from getting what he wants. Despite the movie framing Shrek as the unconventional hero of the story, he is a lazy, selfish, hypocritical, conniving ogre who would be happy to watch the world burn if it means that he could comfortably live in his swamp. This wouldn't be that much of an issue if he kept to himself and didn't meddle in the affairs of others. But our boy Shrek has wandering eyes. He took Farquaad's girl, killed him, destroyed his kingdom, and in this film, he replaced Prince Charming in his own kingdom and gave his crown to someone else. Shrek is a menace.
And with this framing in mind, the message of Shrek III is crystal clear. If you are unwilling to accept the invasion of your homeland and the redefinition of your traditions, values, and norms by outsiders, you are the problem. And this is reflected in each character. Prince Charming represents the isolated and disenfranchised young white
Oh my
male
God, the pink
whose
80
hopes and
socks.
dreams are destroyed by an outsider, and he's then vilified for resisting replacement within his own home. Shrek represents the outsider who refuses to assimilate, gains power and influence, corrupts its women, and then retreats to his own home after the damage is done.
After the
Fiona
kids are
represents
born.
the modern woman who shows no interest in preserving her heritage, fully embraces the lie of multiculturalism, and comes to love the very curse that torments her. King Harold represents the ignorant but well-intentioned boomer who screwed over future generations by being so tolerant that he allowed outsiders en masse through the gates. And finally, Artie represents
That's
the
actually a
puppet
good
for the
comparison.
outsider, which serves as the real authority and figurehead despite being powerless himself. He's naive, inexperienced, out of his depth, and easily deceived into accepting responsibility for which he is clearly unfit. And all of this
So basically, if Beto had been elected,
is solely to carry out the will of the outsiders that are controlling him behind the scenes. And before you use the argument that Artie is also a white European, as Shrek correctly pointed out earlier, he's a loser. He is simply a means to an end for Shrek to escape responsibility and return back to Tel Aviv, his swamp. And on top of just the main cast, the villagers of Far, Far Away.
Okay, so these guys are definitely Fuentes fans.
The perfect representatives of modern goy cattle in Western countries. They willingly accept outsiders like Shrek and the other fairy tale creatures, undermining their society, even at great detriment to themselves. Tradition, European folklore, and even Christianity are ridiculed throughout this film. Whether it's knighting ceremonies or christening a ship, Shrek makes a mockery of European traditions. Not to mention, they commit complete cultural vandalism against Arthurian legends by making King Arthur small, weak, and spineless, and making Merlin an old quack. Even Christianity is attacked in the form of two stoners at the school Artie's from, talking about smoking frankincense and myrrh.
Hello, bro. Don't burn all my frankincense and myrrh.
Demoralization is the goal here. They want white people to be ashamed of their ancestry and to actively work against their own interests by shaming them. Hollywood is very intent on always making people of European ancestry the villains of every story, even in a silly kid.
Yeah, no, I don't like anything that is made by people who think that the Jews run the world. I just don't. There's no evidence of that. I think it goes a lot with a lot of the things about the left that I don't like. Like the video overall, it was interesting. It was kind of thought-provoking, but at the end, it's just goy slop. No, it's just, like I said, the bits where I thought the one at the beginning who said that they were brought across the ocean with Jew ships, I thought that was just tongue-in-cheek, but now at the end, I see that it's... no, this is made by Fuentes fans. This is made by, what's it called? What does he call his people? His followers? But anyway. No, overall, it was thought-provoking. It was interesting. But yeah, no, this is the goy beam. It just shot me in the face. But anyway, moving on. Sunny Hostin's a big old hypocrite.
Sunny Hostin seen using her privilege to try to get her son out of trouble and tells police that she's a former federal prosecutor. Wait, what? Yeah, she's from The View. I know who this is.
My mom's a lawyer, by the way. That's okay. What's your name?
Yeah, and she's always talking about how she's a former federal prosecutor, when in reality, she's just like any other suburban white woman. Obnoxious, privileged, and uses what authority she has to get her problematic kids away from trouble as best she can.
I'm Brian. Brian, is that your badge number 2814? Yes, yes. So the reason we're stopping you.
Is that your badge number? My mom told me to get your badge number.
The reason why it's such a big deal, people get hit by a train all the time. We want to prevent it, obviously. Okay? Can you please, you want me to hold it for you? Yeah, my mom, the phone's at 2%, FYI. Tell them your mother is a federal prosecutor. Yes. Hey, Mom.
So lie, because she's not anymore.
How are you? This is Officer Gomez. Your son's fine, right? Officer Gomez. How are you? This is yes, yes.
This is Sunny Hostin. I'm famous.
Yep. He's a Harvard graduate. No, I understand that. The issue is, like I told your son, is this is considered criminal trespassing. So besides being illegal, it's actually very dangerous for him to be around the railroad tracks. You know, we get people that get hit all the time. So. Okay, let's get my mom on the phone. Of course, yeah. Hey, Mom. Hi, Officer Gomez. I'm about 4 minutes away. Okay.
No, not a female perpetrator per se. But no, we have body cams to catch not only that a lot of people who would be victims or claim to be victims of police, it shows not so much, and they don't really seem to be that afraid. But you also have situations like this where people's rich mommies come and bail them out and try to invoke their privilege that they do in fact have, unironically, to get their kids out when
that's fine. So
we know what their position is.
So I am going to be writing your son what's called an appearance ticket. I'm sure you know what that is.
Why would you put something on his record like this?
No, it's not anything criminal.
Because he did something wrong.
Yeah. Why would you do that? Why would you do this to my son who did a bad thing and should be punished for it?
That's all it is. So it's not a misdemeanor.
Oh my God.
He would have to appear.
This dipshit And she's going to say in a minute, he's a Harvard grad. He teaches 4th graders. Those 4th graders are all better off.
Inconvenience, I understand that. But with all due respect, ma'am, I still have a job to do.
I understand, but what I'm asking...
No, I got that. It's on the docket. It's coming up next.
Once a judge gets this, there is a path...
What happens if you didn't do it?
What do you mean?
What happens if you're like, oh, I would like to write this?
Well, you know...
you gotta let me go.
If we didn't see you, somebody would have called it over.
Correct.
Our hands are tied. It is what it is. Listen, I really appreciate you being cool about this, you know. Hi, miss, how are you? I'm Officer Gomez. I apologize for this. So, like I explained to you, normally it's a misdemeanor charge. We're dumbing it down to a violation, okay?
See, they're dumbing it down to something that doesn't even go on your record. You have to go before the judge. But the cameras will be there, and what about his future? He should have thought about that before he did the thing.
I know you're upset. Again, like I explained to you on the phone. Besides being illegal...
Do you know who I am? I'm gonna call your daddy.
It's dangerous. So that's pretty much it.
Can you give him a warning?
I cannot at this point. I have to recognize you. And like I said, it's usually a misdemeanor. We're dumbing it down to a violation.
I'm a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
He knows he's a Harvard grad who teaches 4th grade geometry to kids. This is not a kid who's ever in trouble.
No, you're right. He's not a kid. He's 23 years old. He's a teacher. He's someone who forms young people's minds. And he's retarded.
It's unfortunate. I get it. I know you're upset and your mom's upset. I'm not trying to be a ball buster.
I'm sure there was a lot of times where she said, how can you give him a failing grade? This paper is brilliant.
I have a job to do. That's all it is, okay? I hope you don't take it personally. I really appreciate you being cooperative.
Who cares if she takes it personally?
So she's over there trying to... It's really funny to see this. She goes on The View all the time and talks about how there's like 2 tiers of justice. We don't have equality. Meanwhile, her son's out there trespassing around a railroad. Her trying to pull rank on this guy and explaining it and all of that. I mean, it just really goes to show that it's all an RP, and it's always been an RP. I wonder if she's going to talk about this on the show.
Why should there be a monument to George Washington? Because he was a terrible slave owner while he was a founding father. Were flawed men to my ancestors.
Right. Wow.
Wow.
I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders. I guess it's a fact of life.
Yeah, you suck. That's the fact of life. Get used to it. Fire the goy beam. Okay. So, we're gonna get in on this real quick.
Now, there was a body cam that was going incredibly viral today, and I'm honestly super happy it did. I have to say, the Jews got him for sure. It's over. So, anywho.
Yes, it's the Jews.
Just release of a police car visiting an American campus following a car theft. And it's so good, dude. It's so good. Oy vey, can you use a new cash infusion in your life? The answer is obviously yes. Don't be it and honestly necessary.
Hey, there's the thing if you want to help Nux.
I just saw like a 1-second clip of it and I was like, oh, this one needs to be the video.
No, absolutely.
Why do you let those kids get away with this? They are not supposed to be here.
Mind you, they're not here for this person. They're here for a carjacking situation, and they happen to run into this thing.
Don't lower your voice. I am going to put handcuffs on you, and I'm going to take you to a Baker Act facility. Lower your voice.
Fucking try it.
Fucking try it. The audacity.
Love how all these people Bro, is this
there. You don't have the balls.
Anyway, so yeah, anywho, like, bro.
Yeah, I typed it in and clicked the firsted one. I commented on Tectone's one, and he said he identifies as fatherless and motherless. Dad left to get milk, and mom left to get cereal. What the fuck?
Just immediately. Holy shit, these people are insane. These people are crazy. Actually mentally ill. No one could have guessed that.
Are you threatening me? You're threatening me. Are you threatening?
That's not how it works. Cops get to be like, hey, calm down, or I'm gonna take you in. You don't get to be like, fucking try it. Because that's a threat towards a law enforcement officer, which is, in fact, a crime. Is it right that people, like cops and shit, get to sometimes abuse this power and disrespect you? No, it's not right the way they do sometimes, but that's not what's happening in this video. This is someone who sees a person over here losing their fucking shit. Oh, you did? Oh, you're fucking hilarious, Shapeshifter. That's funny that you commented that.
Police officer! You're threatening you. Actual mental illness, obviously.
I mean, I'm gonna just... Because I'm here right now to deal with a stolen vehicle. I ain't got time.
Yeah, see, he wasn't even here for this guy. He was here. Sorry. Confused guy.
I don't have time to constantly be abused.
We'll get OPD down here then.
You do. Look, people fear what they don't understand. And people who outwardly express how very different they are in a world that may not be as accepting of them as they maybe should be, depends on your perspective. But being this sensitive about it, to the point where you very much look like a dude with a weird blue wig on, you aren't trying to make yourself look like a woman. And if you say that, some of these people will be like, oh, well, gender is really more of a construct. And no, if you want to identify as a woman, you have to do something to present yourself as such. You are less convincing than GameStop tranny, I'm saying.
What do you mean, OPD?
Alpha 73 University.
Alpha 73?
Can we get another unit to deal?
Just look at this guy. Like, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but bro, look at this fucking cover. Okay.
He looks like Blue November.
Look at this fucking cover.
Sorry, Blue September. I know the band's Blue October.
Introducing the cover.
With Jay Lee here, he is having a breakdown.
A perfectly rational response to a police officer misgendering you on accident because they don't know. Again, look, I'm not like most people. In Tectone's video of this, he said every trans person sounds like lemongrass. What the fuck? But no. Look, I'm perfectly, and I still believe this. I'm believing it less and less every day after seeing stuff like this where people are unhinged. But I've always been of the perspective that people are allowed to be what they want. But if it's that far outside the norm, people can make fun of you. Should they harass you? No. No one should harass anybody. But people are assholes. The world is a dark and scary place, and we should work to make it a little brighter. However, that perfect utopia can't just pop out of your fucking ass. All right? So, while, yes, people should, if you are a friend of a person, and your friend says, hey, I want to be a girl, you should make fun of them a little. But you should also, if you're a friend and this is a genuine thing that they're doing and you're not just clearly trying to see that they're trying to fit in with a new crowd that they've been hanging out with lately, if you're their friend, you'll be like, yeah, buddy, whatever. Or you'll be their friend and say, I don't think you are, bruh. I think you're a very confused dude. And maybe y'all can still be friends, hopefully. Or y'all go your separate ways. But if you're friends, you should either be brutally honest or you go along with your friend's delusion to see what he'll do. If you're like me and you're a dick. But friends should be genuinely accepting while telling people the truth at all times. Not my truth, not your truth, but the truth. And especially if you've known a person for a long time. But if you meet someone, try to, if they're like, hey, I go by this. I identify as mentally disabled. So do I, Shapeshifter. I am a fucking bowler-wearing retard on the internet. Look at me. I'm retarded. I thought about making my avatar more retarded looking, but it just looks so damn good. I couldn't fix this. There's nothing to be fixed. Look at me. I'm gorgeous. But at the same time, like I was saying, you shouldn't expect people to go along with your worldview, whether they're your friends or not. And you certainly should not lose your fucking shit because someone doesn't see that you're trying to present yourself as a woman, because you're not putting forth much effort. Like, what's this guy got? He's got some knee-high socks some Wizard of Oz little slippers, and a shitty blue wig. Okay, this just looks like someone who's in a drama class. This doesn't necessarily say to me, oh, thank you. But, this doesn't say to me someone who is trying to be transgender. This is someone who maybe fell into a box of extra clothes and backstage at a high school or college theater program. But you do not freak out like this when a stranger misgenders you, because we're coming off of a time where it's very easy because men and women have distinct differences. And you, someone who's definitely not been doing this for very long, should be okay with it. Oh.
You know, I love my job.
Why, thank you.
I love my job. Listen, YouTube overlords, I'm not making fun of trans people. I'm just saying this person obviously has a mental illness.
Yes, now this person, you can say that some of these people actually believe what they profess. This person does not. This person is unhinged. This person needs tender love and medication.
He's a bit psychotic. I'm just saying. One more time. Bro was literally a human FNAF jump scare. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Alpha 73.
Like, let's get all the way in here.
Alpha 73. Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a breakdown.
Good.
Nothing wrong with me.
Good. Oh God, lemon grab IRL. Oh my God, I love. You know the funniest thing? I could never radicalize people on trans people like trans
the way that they
people
do
every single day when they're caught on camera.
And like I said, I have a few trans friends. They're mostly cool, mostly, and some of them don't even try to push their shit on other people, but because it's very obvious that they're not the gender to which they say that they are, they get made fun of and harassed a little bit, and it's sad. But at the same time, again, I mean, you know where you're going. Like, if you work at a place that's going to be mostly conservative, whether it be something to do with firearms, most warehouse work, most anything that's hot, construction crews, whatever, just know you're going to get ripped on a bit more than normal. You need to have the strength of character to know who you are inside. I do well, I mean, I know you don't, because everyone has to go through the military, and most military people don't espouse this kind of thing. But I'm sure you know a few lesbians. But no, just I do, just because I've been around the gay community most of my young life, mostly because one of two things. One, the gay bar was the only bar that let people under 21 in for obvious reasons, because they want to get them drunk. I found out later. Thankfully, no one was really creepy towards me, except one person that's creepy towards everybody, and it's hilarious. And two, I have had friends who were gay because I was, I was in choir, I was in a bunch of music programs, I was in theater. So I had a lot of gay friends. So being supportive of them for who they were at the time. Later on, they became giant gaping assholes as the LGBT community became more prominent in pop culture. They became gaping fucking assholes. And a couple of them transitioned. Mostly the ones who were very pop culture oriented. This is someone who, especially one in particular, someone who's very with the quote-unquote trend, the thing of the week. I actually am. I have a lot of lesbian friends, mostly. I know 2 trans people and one I'm not sure if she is or not. I mean, there's those as well. But no, like I've always been a fan of like tomboys and such. So naturally, a lot of people I've had crushes on turned out to be gay, and not just because they weren't interested in me. They told me that they actually are. My very first crush, someone I used to play basketball with, she used to kick my ass. It was very much like Zoro from One Piece. I loved basketball. She loved basketball. She would kick my ass, but then I got tall and she didn't. But nah, and she's always we're still pretty good friends. We'll see how each other's doing from time to time. Her and her wife, girlfriend, whatever, are doing really well. They've been together for like 15 years, but they're not all just jump into living with each other and then jump out of living with each other like the stereotype. But the stereotypes are true. They come from somewhere.
Can I just acknowledge how incredible this is? This is so awesome. Oh my god.
Just say the right pronoun!
What'd you say?
And I will say this guy jumped a little too quick to pepper spray, but I mean, come on, this guy is clearly gonna try something. He's already said, "You fucking try it," and freaking the fuck out because someone misgendered them, when this person never said, "I identify as she." Just so you know, please try to use she. And then the cop pulled out the pepper spray. No, but yeah, pepper spray maybe a little too fast, but then again, this person is clearly completely unhinged, and this guy isn't even here for this. Oh, just wait.
You're about to get sprayed.
No, just
Get down on the ground right now.
And this is fleeing. This is resisting arrest very much.
Okay, are you gonna calm down?
I'm getting my phone out. I have to film this.
I'm telling you. Are you gonna calm
I
down?
have to draw you. You're why cavemen painted on walls.
You know, listen, man, I could be like, well, technically there's two genders, because obviously there's two genders, and everyone knows there's two genders. There's men and women, and you can't change your gender, because that's...
Yeah, there is men and women. I'm more than happy. Like I said, me and just me personally. I don't say that everyone else should have to do it because I don't believe that. And it's a lot easier if it's someone you didn't grow up with, like people who I know who transitioned from when I was a kid. Those are difficult, and of course, those are the least understanding of them, because I've always known them as, you know, one gender, and then they quote unquote switch to the other one. It's a lot more difficult.
Charge
Whereas
complete.
my buddy, who's 5 foot tall and a trans man, quote unquote, it's a lot easier to respect his pronoun or whatever, or call him by his pronoun. I don't really respect it, but again, he's cool about it. He understands, and despite the fact that he's 5 foot tall, is very passing, unless you get him drunk, in which case it's like, this is a girl that wanted to show his tits when he gets drunk. I actually asked him that because he would always do this weird titty dance like the brother from 50 First Dates. And he would, how do you explain intersex then? Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. It's a biological defect. And yes, we do acknowledge that, but they usually tend to favor one or the other, and they go that way. I actually have an intersex friend who has her first name is a female name, and her last name is a name that she goes by when she's feeling particularly mannish because it's a boy's name. Well, it can go either way, which is kind of hilarious. And the fact that they use a different name for whatever gender they feel like when one of their name is technically unisex is hilarious to me. But I used to be her wingman, which is another reason I went to the gay bar all the time, because there's a lot of straight girls at the gay bar. You just got to make sure you can point out an Adam's apple, especially these days.
It's obvious, and we're humans with eyes. All right, now I can make that argument. People could agree with that, or disagree with that. If they
But yeah, I absolutely will not call anyone anything besides male or female. I will not call you Zer, they, them, any of that crap. I just won't talk to you or use pronouns if I have to talk to you. But I will try to respect the she, he, whatever. If you want to be a guy, want to be a girl, whatever. Sure, I'll give it a try as long as you're not like this fucker.
Mind raped. All right. But then you have this. Is this not better? What possible, logical reasoning could I come up with to explain that this is a mental illness compared to this? Bro, this guy needs an exorcist. He doesn't need a psychiatrist. He needs an exorcist. Okay? Like, I'll just be real.
Real quick. Like, sometimes when something bad happens, you can be like, okay, maybe it's the guy that was holding it. Maybe he dropped it. Okay, maybe he dropped it. You know what? Maybe it's you, bro.
Was that the same as Chelsea
Maybe it's you. Maybe God didn't want you to have water. It's like, come on. Anyway.
Bro, there are 2 genders, and there are 1 E in mental illnesses, okay? Let's be honest. All right, I'm going to be real with you, okay? I can explain. From here till tomorrow, I can bring you scientific answers. I can give you ethical answers. I can give you psychological, biblical sources to explain that there's 2 genders, and obviously you can't change your gender, and that it's a mental illness that these people have, but...
It is.
But this is so much better. Thank you so much.
Or it's just because it's popular. It's either one or the other. It's either mental illness or you're taking advantage of young people's already struggling with their identity. People don't know who they are. People don't know who they're going to be. People have trouble with what's going to happen in their future. So they latch on to anything that's accepting as opposed to accepting themselves for who they are, their shortcomings, how to redeem themselves or pick themselves up from said shortcomings. And how could you try using my prompt today?
Thank you. I also want to destroy your movement. Thank you
Hold
for
on.
your assistance.
Oh, is there...
I also want to eradicate
Did you send me something?
transgenderism from society, and you are helping. You absolute patriot. My God, this is incredible.
Oh, congrats on 400 followers, by the way. I was going to say it yesterday, but I didn't get on.
The Bible is a man that dresses like a woman is an abomination against God. Yeah. Thanks God for letting us know. Thanks God for letting us know. Unacceptable!
You know what this is?
I will calm down when you get the pepper spray out of my face! Leave me alone!
I love that these people think that by filming it, somehow it gives them a superpower. Because if I film it, all of my lib-cuck friends will be in my
Well, and I think the main reason that they film is it's like, I'm going to kill you, cop brings out pepper spray. Look, he's trying to hurt me. No, and that's exactly what happens. They'll release the video that they recorded from the time that the cop is pissed at whatever they did before, and then the body cam will come out and people will only remember what this fucker put out. But thankfully, he didn't put out the video, I guess, at least outside of his own friend group, because no one cared. And we have this one, and this is the one that everyone remembers.
Just stop pointing the pepper spray at me! I will calm down if you do that! Stop!
You weren't calm before the pepper spray. Why would he believe you at all? Clearly, it's not going to happen. Are we sure this isn't a woman? No offense. Oh, I love Kindergarten Cop. This is clearly Fred Durst if he had been born 10 years later. Just leave me alone.
You know, I was saying this whole time that, like, you know, transgenderism, mental illness, blah, blah, blah. Are we sure this isn't a woman? Sorry, I'm joking, obviously.
Obviously.
Stay alone! You have been particularly abusing me! If you come... You did!
Brother, just zap him!
Yeah.
Zap this bastard!
Have him ride the lightning.
Other people come to the defense of this gremlin.
This person's like, hey, I know this person. This is just how he is at 2 o'clock. You're not you when you're hungry. Hey, you tried. You tried, buddy. You tried to help someone that you recognize. You might not be friends, but you tried. And I salute you for it.
No, it's too late now. It's too late now. He's going to be taken away.
It's got hyper pronoun awareness.
Right-wing propaganda on the planet that's more effective than literally just videoing one of these creatures. This is insane.
That is absolutely true. Like, this is the biggest detriment to their own argument right here. And they will use this as something against everyone else. The left and the right who don't agree with this kind of thing. And again, I've already Even sounds like living crap. Unacceptable.
It's amazing. Oh my god.
I just want to get away from him.
Could you believe?
I just want to get away from the cop who's very clearly going to arrest me because I am unhinged. Again, they weren't here for this person. They were here for a carjacking.
As a society, we've allowed it to get this bad. Oh my god. This is, by the way, the natural endpoint of liberalism. The idea of,
yes.
Oh, we're just going to accept you, and you're allowed to do whatever you want. We're going to let you go all the way to the end. We're going to let you go to any extreme you want. This is the natural endpoint.
And again, most people, especially, say 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, completely okay with people living how they want to live. 100%. I still feel that way. Nux and some of my followers feel otherwise. But yes, you have the freedom to live how you want to live. However, society should not conform to your own surface level view of yourself. Okay? And again, this brings me back to a very popular question. What happened to tomboys? What happened to femme boys? What happened to people who just are a little effeminate and they're guys, or a little boyish and they're girls? I mean, it's completely okay. It doesn't have to be a whole identity. Which, again, is why they let the Qs in there, because the Qs are just those people. They're just a little flamboyant, and they even, I think the A's is for asexual and allies, which is funny because asexual isn't a sexuality or a gender. It's literally just people who claim that they don't have sex, which we all know that they're lying.
You're an adult. You consent. Oh, you consent. We don't care. Oh, you want to be called this way? We'll call you that way. Oh, this makes you feel good, so we'll do that. My guy, it doesn't work. And this is so amazing, bro. You can't, nothing red pills you like an actual transgender person entering your life. Holy crap.
I love how he does it more than one. Let's go back.
Crap.
1, 2, 3. I don't like using the term chimp out, but it applies. This person needs to go back to 2008 and make a screamo band.
Oh my god, he genocided him. He just genocided a trans.
Just say she.
See, and this is it. I do not need to conform to your worldview. I do not need to conform to your worldview. And I don't care how many chimp outs you're gonna have. All right, I do not. He's putting the gloves on. He's ready to give this man a freaking prostate exam. All right, it's gonna be it's gonna be diabolical. But it's insane. Someone didn't have a dad growing up, obviously. But this
I will
is
absolutely
incredible.
do this today.
Josh, can you please just tell them to use the right pronouns?
That's not what started this. You were already freaking out when this person, who doesn't adhere to this kind of thing, approached you.
Why? Why do they have to do literally anything you want them to do? I love it so much. You just don't conform to their garbage worldview, and it shatters them. It destroys them. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Holy crap.
Please! You know it's causing me a lot of distress.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Oh no, he's using a word you don't like, and now you're gonna kill yourself. Oh! Again, I'm totally against it. I'm just saying statistically, 42% of them kill themselves.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
That is true, and it doesn't get better if they have affirming care at all.
So I'm gonna ask
It actually gets worse.
Put your stuff down, turn around, put your hands behind your back.
What does that mean to Riley over here?
Not going to be arrested.
Put your stuff
I'm not going to be arrested. Yes, you are.
Entitled person on the planet.
Yeah.
I am not going to be arrested.
This is someone who's only ever been around people who let them do whatever they want.
No.
Okay, so
This is happening.
Arrest, are we?
ask you one more time. You can record all you want.
I see you have a camera. I have a camera too.
You're stressing me out. I'm just asking you to please stop stressing.
You were stressed out before this. You don't get to behave like a rabid animal in public. You just don't. I'm sorry.
Time you do a crime and you're gonna go to cops to please stop?
Hey, so.
No, you didn't!
Yes.
You came in with hostile intent!
Put your hands.
Be alone!
He just hit his buddy in the
Get
dick.
on the ground right now. Get on the ground.
Me!
Get on the ground right now.
Don't hurt me!
Get down on the ground right now.
This man has retard strength.
Here we go, the rough and tumble. This is better than the Odyssey, by the way. Listen, man, Christopher Nolan spends however much money to put some black people in.
I've never understood it myself.
I'll be real.
It's probably a grass is always greener on the other side kind of situation.
Georgina Floyd takes down most action he's going to receive in a decade.
Yeah.
To think all this could have been avoided if all of society wouldn't have caved into this man's mental illnesses.
True.
You understand how crazy that is? If all of society just wouldn't have caved to this dude's delusions, none of this would have happened.
And it's sad. It really is. Just get him on the ground.
No.
Go. Hand behind your back.
Damn, bro.
Put your hand behind your back.
I can't.
No.
This person is very pale. They make me look dark, and I'm also very pale. Almost as pale as Nux. Josh, help me. Josh, drop kick this cop, please, for me.
Yes, he's right. It is. This dude thinks he's a
No, exactly.
God damn.
I'm gonna spray him.
No, please don't say him!
Okay, her, I'm gonna.
I love how he was more concerned about the pronoun than the pepper spray.
Don't say him, no, please. Bro starts melting. Please, don't say him.
Spray her.
Thank you.
Put your hand behind your back. Yes.
See?
I don't want to spray you.
Respect the pronouns, still not putting his hands behind his back.
No, give me your hand. Give me your hand.
It's probably the most action he's gotten in a long time.
I can calm down if you just give me some space.
See what's gonna happen?
No. See? This is your calmness. This is what I call a calm pistol.
Oh my god.
Put your hand behind your back. Put your hand behind your back.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get one stun to the tummy tum.
Okay, I'm gonna
Do it.
tase you.
Do it.
If you don't cooperate.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Tase
Do it. 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 Do it.
Jalen, it's gonna hurt, man. Just give me your hand.
And they're
Give me your hand.
again, they're giving this person so many opportunities when they could have just thrown them on the ground 5-10 minutes ago. But I ask you, would that have been better for us?
No, we need your hand. Yes, we need your hand.
Hold on, I gotta look this up. Gwen. Yes, yes.
Oh, man. Go. Again, you realize all of this could have literally been avoided if you would have just complied. Like, that's the craziest thing. Every single time I see, like, one of these body cam, and everyone's like, oh, those cops, they're savages. And then you watch the body cam footage, and every single
Is this who you're talking about?
time, they deserve it.
Hi, I'm
I've
Gwen.
never seen body cam footage where someone got tased that didn't deserve it. You know, again, maybe that's just anecdotal, but I've seen so many arrests.
You're gonna get it again this time.
This time we're gonna get it up the ass. That's where you like it, eh?
Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
Leave me alone!
Give me your hand.
Adam Carolla made this comparison. I'm going to save that. Yes, pull the legs out.
Little did you know, but this is turning me on.
Yeah. Her boner slapped against the ground.
Free Kaya, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, free Kaya every day. It's free Kaya. It's free Kaya every day.
We got him.
And we got charges.
What, battery?
That battery only, okay.
Oh, they were attacking me! What was I supposed to do?
Come.
Get you to comply. Hold on. Why are you attacking me?
What was I supposed to do? Comply.
Yeah. Calm down. Be a grown-up.
Watch your head. Roll over. Now get up.
Josh, please.
On your knee.
Josh, please.
Now stand up. I can't
I have my phone.
Fucking Snorlax in the middle of the road. Cat pass by.
Ow, I can't get up.
You said you did taser, right? Yes. Yeah.
Her.
It's amazing! Oh my, dude, I love it. I love it. Oh, Patriot out here. Destroying
Yeah.
transgenderism.
I mean, he'll definitely be the girl there.
Matt Walsh makes like an entire documentary. This shit is better. I'm just gonna be real. This is so much better. Oh my god.
Stunt. Sit down. We're gonna have the fire department take a look at you.
Fire department. Sir, we're gonna give you a lobotomy. No, no. Yes, we are. It's not sir. Oh my gosh.
That's a big misunderstanding.
Let's just take it to the car.
We're gonna lobotomize you now. It's okay. It's okay.
Lobotomy, loboto you.
Come on. Thanks, Josh.
We're calling the fire department and a priest. A priest? Why a priest? For the exorcist.
My phone back.
Go get your belongings, all right?
I hate you.
They write an entire
I hate you for holding me
entire
accountable.
laundry list. All right, so we are going to need 2 firemen, 1 priest. 2 firemen. We're gonna need 1 priest and 1 neurosurgeon. It's like, all right, so you're for the lobotomy. You're here for the exorcism.
No, that was accurate.
You're here to hold him down, I guess.
That was accurate. I mean, it's horrible. It's going to be horrible, but it's accurate.
Zoran Mamdani is sending a social worker ASAP.
He'll never feel more accepted.
You didn't have to pull out the pepper spray. You didn't have to completely scared me.
Yes. Yes, they did.
You set them off.
I'll live out shortly, but I think we were okay coming out.
Yes, they did.
Do not push me.
No, he lost his little shoesies.
Wearing knee socks. Oh my god, it's unbelievable.
Please stop. Do not push me.
I like how he slammed his own head into the top of the car there. Did you see that? I hate you for catching me being a criminal and arresting me. Yes, I hate you. I hate you so much.
A man?
Yes, this is Deuteronomy. Dude spelled D-U-D-E.
That cross-dresses like a woman is an abomination against God. You know, I think God was right. Like usual. But he's pretty consistent about being right about all the things. I don't know if you've noticed. Damn. No, literally, generations of trans propaganda just instantly snubbed out. It's glorious. Patriot. This is a patriot right over here. Absolute patriot. You know, sometimes in the Bible it's like, and God hardened Pharaoh's heart so that Pharaoh could stop the Israelites from leaving Egypt, and then God will bring 10 plagues upon Egypt just to show his glory. I feel like I'm watching that. You know, I feel like that's what happened here. And God hardened the heart of this gender confused individual, and now we got this. Just to bring glory to his name. Let's not waste this opportunity, all right? Let's not waste the opportunity to remind everyone that God is actually just right about everything. This video is sponsored by you, Brave.
All right. What the fuck? Okay, anyway. Just gonna pop out a few things here. All right. So this is women hate attractive women. Not all women, but a lot of women hate people who they find more attractive than them, whether it be because they're younger, thinner, better dressed, can afford to get things done, whatever. Love who you are, okay? If there's something you don't like about yourself, if you're a little chubby, work out, maybe eat better. If you're, whatever. If you're short, rock it. Someone's going to love you for being short. If you're tall, rock it. Someone's going to love you for being tall. Just remember, keep that same mindset about the things that you don't like about yourself when you judge whoever might be your partner. Okay. Yes, shorter guys, it's harder to see them as like a protective figure. Women hate it when women have boyfriends and they don't. Yeah, I mean that might be the case, or a significant other or whatever. But just know that your own insecurities, whether you're man or woman, have nothing to do with the opposite gender. You just have really shitty taste for the most part. Okay. Now, if you can't get somebody because you're a wheezing bag of anuses, then maybe work on that. But for the most part, you might just be trying to shoot for someone who's not really your vibe. Find someone who is. You'll find them. And hopefully they're not a wheezing bag of dicks like most of the people that you've probably loved. Haters will say this that AI made this. Probably true, but still looks pretty dope, Jewpool. This is Charlize Theron with her trans daughter that she saved from Africa. Apparently this kid said at 3 years old that he was a girl. A lot of kids say that kind of thing, especially when they're mostly around the parent of the opposite gender. Sometimes boys will step in their shoes. They also do this for their fathers. It happens. I don't know anything about this yet. Nolan Wells should be alive today. I don't know what happened. But Akeem Jeffries is talking about it, so... Yes, the ocean is racist. Okay, I'm already following Sarah Fields. Foul play. No confirmed evidence of racial motive. So black person drowned. Gotcha. What's this?
Welche unser Leben zu beherrschen trachten, fürchten am meisten die volkstümliche Aktion.
This is pretty much what this was.
Sie fürchten uns aus dem einfachen Grunde, dass es mehr von uns gibt als von ihnen.
Leaflet, never change. This I showed y'all this earlier. Showed y'all that. Look, if this is the case, if you felt safer in whatever country that you immigrated here from, then go back. A lot of this is not the case because a lot of the places that people come from are shitholes, or are places that didn't give them the freedoms to say what they want about the places that they came from. Excuse me. I think we can all agree that these people are the worst. This one heard a baby and just kept going like nothing happened. These people are the worst. You would think that they would put this towards some kind of obstacle course or show, like just have cones out or have this or that out. Don't harass the public with a bike that you stole from my house. I want it back. Mom Donnie's New York, whoever the pamphlets is, said this was Giuliani's New York. That is not the same thing. This is someone who lives here. This is someone who wished they were born here. This being the dumbest thing that was posted ever. Was posted a few days ago. Was that a week ago? Equal rights doesn't mean fewer rights for the other people. It's not a pizza. We all deserve to have equal rights. Are you with us in the fight for equality? This is completely stupid. And on June 26th, UN Women advocated for centering earthquake relief in Venezuela on women. If it's not a pizza, then why are you advocating for a disproportionate amount of finite resources be dedicated exclusively to women? This is what I'm saying. You keep saying this kind of thing, and yes, while it's true that people having what you say is equality, which is something that we already have in America, or the Western world, yes, it is already a thing. Yes, it's not a pizza, but you want more slices. You treat it like a pizza, and then you say it's not a pizza. Let's see what Tom Holman's saying in his Bay State.
No matter what you think,
Hold on.
some people say, I'm not going to comply with this. And I think no matter what people think of us, no matter what you think of immigration law, you should always comply with law.
Yes. Yes, but in the shootings in both Houston and Maine, the people who were killed were not the intended targets. Have you caught the people you're actually looking for?
One of my
No, because we were busy, held up with these fucking psychopaths.
We did, but you know that happens in law enforcement all the time. I mean, we're working, you know, and you get leads on individuals, and you say, okay, well, this subject lives at this house, he drives this car. And when that subject leaves that house, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning, and someone gets in that car from that house, you know, they assume, okay, this is our guy, and they'll do a vehicle stop. And depending on when they make that stop and that person complies, either they're going to be arrested or released. That's the way it's supposed to be. So, you know, law enforcement deals with misidentification.
And in these situations, look, and I don't agree that cops should be able to do just whatever the fuck they want. But that sounds reasonable. Someone from an address that they were given of a person who's illegal, who said that owns or drives a certain car, left said residence in said vehicle, so they pulled over that vehicle. And the person in the car, instead of going along with it and then possibly suing or being released or getting some kind of compensation for their wrongful arrest, decided to fight, decided to take off in the direction where ICE officers were standing, and then got fired upon. Is it sad? Yes. 100% it is. Women hate it when... But, it's tragic. The situation with Renee Good, again, we've said it many times, she was purposefully blocking traffic. And people said, well, no, they waved her on. They waved her around. Even if that were true, she stopped in the middle of the fucking road. She was approached by ICE officers because she knew she would be, because that was the point, to delay them. And then her girlfriend got out of the car and started recording and taunting people. And then she said, drive, baby, drive, when one retard officer was walking in front of the car. Thankfully, it was on top of ice that's on the ground, and she couldn't get traction. She did eventually, and the cop shot a couple too many times. I don't agree that they should have shot her then, but they were completely within their right to. If this had not been on icy ground, he would have been obliterated. He still had some kind of, I think he had a fractured pelvis. And with Alex Preddy. If you know that you're a violent sociopath who has had multiple violent encounters with law enforcement, especially ICE enforcement, why would you bring a gun? All that's going to do, you're going to get in a scuffle, they're going to see the gun, which they did, and you're going to get shot. Or worse, you're going to shoot someone, and you'll probably miss because you're not trained, because you're a fucking retard. And I don't know the situation with the third guy. I think it was in Michigan or something. I don't know the situation with him fully. I haven't got to look into it yet because so much has happened.
Not just ICE. Every law enforcement agency. I was a cop. I know that happened.
Yeah, but these were fatal shootings, of course, in Houston and in Maine. And in Houston, it was an unmarked car. So when you're saying don't resist,
Houston, that's what it was.
Who were chasing the man who died, they didn't have markings on that vehicle that would allow for him to know that they were ICE. It just looked like a car coming after them in the videos.
No, they have emergency lights. Officers have insignia. When they get out of that car and approach the car, you can clearly see the law enforcement officers.
Well, in the video that has been public, it's not a marked car.
These people...
He didn't say it was marked. It has lights. Now, there are some people on the road who will, in fact, try to flag you down similarly. But if they have the patches, if they have the insignia on, you're supposed to believe it. Now, I understand how people would say, how do we know? I will say, especially if you're legal and someone tries to block you or pull you over, one, they'll pull you over. They won't block you unless you're actively trying to get away, first and foremost. So if someone's trying to pull you over, they have their sirens on, they roll down their windows, you can actively see that they're federal agents, pull over. But if someone just cuts you off on an on or off ramp, no, you plow through those motherfuckers. I've seen too many videos, especially if they don't have any kind of identifying marks, especially if they're coming out pistols drawn already and you're absolutely not a violent criminal. In that case, yeah. But in the cases that we've seen so far, they've identified themselves. You can clearly see who they are. That's not what this is about. And you can try to paint it that way all you want. She's saying insignias. He's saying they have identifying marks. They're saying two different things. She insists on saying this, and he's saying what is actually present.
I'm not saying it's a marked car, but they have emergency lights and sirens. So when they pull somewhere, they want to activate the emergency lights. A lot of police departments. I'm in New York City right now. A lot of NYPD officers are driving unmarked vehicles, and that helps them find people that don't want to be found, right? So, you know, but bottom line is, we'll see when the investigation plays out, but they'd be alive today if they simply complied with a vehicle stop by federal law enforcement. Just comply. You can, if you don't think you're being treated right and they had no reason to stop you, then there's avenues to take them to court, to sue.
Well, the family of the man in Houston said that he thought he was being robbed because it was an unmarked vehicle.
How do you know? How do they know that? How do they know that he thought he was being robbed? They weren't there. They're speculating. They were not there. But like I said, comply. You might get detained. You may even spend a little time in jail. But you'll live. You'll live to fight another day. You will live to sue the fucking asses off of someone who wrongfully arrested you. And yes, especially if you are someone who has legal status, especially if you are a descendant of an immigrant, especially if you are someone who is fully in the right, you will get the media, the press, and social media behind you 100%. You will even, I'm willing to say, you will even get people on the right wing or people who may look at some of these occurrences and be like, I'm sad that they're gone, but they earned that shit. You will even get some of them on your side if you comply, go to the press, tell them your story, and sue them their fucking asses. And this is one of the things that I'm really surprised that people haven't done. But that's because people don't want people to sue them. They want these law enforcement agencies to continue as they are and people to fight them and die for the cause. None of these people care about you. None of them. They want you to die for the cause. How do I know? From experience. I've seen these people in action. They do not care. They're a bunch of upper-class fuckwits who only care about their own little worlds that they can control. And a lot of them have a lot of money, so they can control quite a bit more. A lot of these hard left-wing movements are funded by rich assholes who would never put themselves in the line of fire. They want you as fodder. They want poor people to die for their cause. They don't care about you, because at the end of the day, they'll be fine. They're miles, sometimes hundreds of thousands of miles away. One of the fuckers, the one that organized Hassan Diddy Piker's trip to Cuba, lives in China. What's that? Hey, homie, I can share your community and the community. Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Freaky Pro, is it? But
not that it was law enforcement at all.
They had emergency lights. They activate emergency lights, balloon light. You know, in my vehicle I drive where I'm with my security detail.
You've seen that on video?
Lights.
Because we haven't.
Seen what on video, man?
That there were lights? Because in the videos that we've seen, there aren't. And because there weren't body cameras, it is hard to substantiate some of what you were saying.
Okay, well, I have not seen the videos, but I'm saying our vehicles are equipped with emergency lights. Now, if they didn't activate the lights, again, I haven't seen that video. If they didn't activate the lights, then there's an issue there, right?
And that can be addressed. 100%. And if that's the case, then yes, those officers should be punished and should be released from duty at the very least. 100%. But again, were they wearing their uniforms or their gear that identifies them? But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hey, look at this, a bunch of fucking lunatics. But, oh, this one real quick. FBI Director Kash Patel's daughter calls to deport Sneeko, Hassan Piker, and Ilan Omar. The woman pictured is Priya Patel, an Indian woman social media influencer. She is not the daughter, nor is she related to Kash Patel. Not only are you autistic, you're racist. Like, what the fuck? Like, just because people have this last name doesn't mean they're related. Patel is like Smith for Indian people, okay? There's a lot of the fuckers. I've met a lot of them. There's a lot of famous people with the last name Patel. Yes, they're Indian, and if you think that they all look like they're related, that says more about you than them. But anyway, we'll end it on that, guys. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you for stopping by. Sorry about not being here yesterday. Yanuka, don't let me forget to get that prompt today. I'll probably get it today at lunch, at the very least. But until next time, this has been Alfie Animus for the Associated Guest signing out.